Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Yesterday, I covered a video about when social climbing goes wrong. However, in this particular video today, I want to cover another topic that I briefly touched on yesterday, but I want to make it the theme of the video today. As you know, Miss Markle, or the Duchess, has done an interview with Oprah, and she was joined by her husband, Prince Harry, and some bombshell allegations in that interview came forth. But I want to touch on something else. You know, they were married, still husband and wife, stand together despite all the difficulties in which has arisen. Apparently, things did not go their way. Meghan could not handle being a royal. She could not handle her duties. And also, too, there was an onslaught of racial tension, racism that was directed at them. Yesterday, I showed you a clip of Prince Philip stating that, well, he says right here, if I were reincarnated, I would be a killer virus, is what he said he would come back as. And I showed you the clip. For those of you who have missed it, I will show you the clip again.
What do you see as the biggest challenges in conservation?
The growing human population. Because if where we are, there's nothing else.
And do you have views about what should be done about that?
Can't you guess?
Well, it could be on a spectrum from mass sterilisation to greater availability of contraception. I don't know what your views are as to what can be done about it.
Well, I think it might be described as voluntary family limitation.
So that was the clip of Prince Philip stating the obvious that something should be done about the dark-skinned people. So he's for some type of population control, in which he tried to downplay in the interview. Later, it was passed on to his grandson. Now, he's taken on the helm and has inherited his grandfather's legacy. He speaks of wanting population control in Africa because they are just booming too fast. And if you doubt what I'm saying, watch this.
In my lifetime, we have seen global wildlife populations decline by over half. Africa's rapidly growing human population is predicted to more than double by 2050, a staggering increase of 3.5 million people per month. There is no question that this increase puts wildlife and habitats under enormous pressure. We're going to have to work much harder and think much deeper if we are to ensure that human beings and the other species of animal with which we share this planet can continue to coexist. When we look back, we have a mixed track record in this regard, but I'm always optimistic when I observe how young people in particular, all over the world, are motivated to reverse the trends of the past.
Okay, that was Meghan's brother-in-law, Prince William. So now, here is the question. What I wanted to come full circle with. This is Prince William. He's for population control. And Prince Harry said he's never going to speak on the conversation the palace had about his son's skin tone. Now let's get to this. Meghan Markle accuses royal family of racism in bombshell interview with Oprah. Let's see. So it gets a little closer to home, Meghan. This is her husband, Prince Harry, with a swastika. Harry the Nazi. Apparently, a young Harry went to a costume party as a Nazi. And what you're going to see about this particular family is that they appear to be very fond of Nazis. About that particular costume, Prince Harry felt Prince William should have shouldered some of the blame because apparently Prince Harry and Prince William picked out the costume together. So that little speech about population control in Africa by Prince William, not so surprising now. Let's move on. Harry the Nazi, that's Meghan's husband. Okay, this is the Queen's sister, Princess Margaret. Princess Margaret was a known racist and anti-Semite. I remember a story of she asked someone, "Are you Jewish or are you a Jew?" And they said, "Yeah." And she got all flustered and she walked away. Here's Princess Margaret with her sister, Queen Elizabeth II. Here they are in a younger photo. But here's Queen Elizabeth II, the Royal Highness, with the Nazi salute. Buckingham Palace has said it is disappointed that footage from 1933 showing the Queen performing a Nazi salute has been released. Keep in mind, Nazi salutes, you're seeing something. This was from 1933. And her grandson, Harry, what is that, about 70 years later, appeared at a costume with the Nazi uniform on that he and William helped pick out. Behind the infant queen's gestures lies a dark history of aristocratic Nazi links. This was King Edward and his wife Wallis Simpson greeting Adolf Hitler. The Nazi thing comes up again. Harry the Nazi. Now look at this right there. This is way back in the 1930s, I guess, and this was like Harry as a Nazi there. I'm going to bring this home to you. I'm just laying a foundation. Here they are right here at baby Charlie's christening. Look at William's face. Look at Kate's face. Looks a little strained. Okay, let's move on. British archives hiding royal family's links to anti-Semitism in the 1930s, says historian. Well, of course, we've seen that. You've seen the Nazi salutes. You've seen the greeting of Hitler. What is that, 70 years later? Prince Harry's wearing a Nazi uniform? So we're not surprised now. Let's keep going as I continue this link up. Prince Harry to open up about racially insensitive past, including Nazi uniform. Okay, what is the racist insensitive past? Okay, perhaps the royal redhead's worst moment was when a picture of him dressed as a Nazi officer surfaced in 2005. Tabloids was plastered with the image of Prince Harry wearing a swastika armband under the headline, Harry the Nazi. Harry, who was 20 at the time, reportedly wore the outfit to a colonial and native costume party. By the way, colonial and native costume party. I want to show you something right there. I want to show you all the places that the UK, that Great Britain has captured and colonized. Okay, so you've seen the places pretty much over the world that Great Britain has colonized. Quite a few, many of them, people of color. And in 2009, Prince landed in hot water. Here he goes again, 2009, again for racially insensitive behavior. Muslim groups were outraged over a video of Harry calling one of his platoon members, our little Paki friend, an offensive term for Pakistanians, and calling another raghead, a derogatory term used to describe someone wearing a turban. Harry was serving in the Sandhurst Military Academy in 2006 while training to be an Army Air Corps helicopter pilot when he made the comments. So I guess he started in 2006, so in 2009 is when the incidents, or when Harry said those offensive incidents. So I'm going to go back right there. So Harry, being a member of the royal family, I'm sure are briefed and given protocol as to how they should behave and what is offensive language. Apparently he didn't heed it. So that racism in him was just too embedded, just too steep. He was too far gone. Prince Harry's worst moments. Does Meghan Markle know the royal rogue she's marrying? Now, this goes into what I want to say. She's marrying. Remember that? It was plastered all over the Sun Times. It was headline news. You could not really escape it. I'm sure you can dig up the archives. If I did, she could. But did she bother to dig up the archive to see who she was marrying? We're going to get back to this. But right here it says protect black women. And I'm thinking right here, I only see one. And I'm going to explain to you why. Meghan Markle says being biracial limited her roles in Hollywood. That's the reason why. In previous videos, I have explained to you guys that I don't have a problem with biracials identifying as being black or me accepting them as black, because biracials here in America have gone through everything that blacks have gone through. See, they've gone through slavery, black codes, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, civil rights, continual discrimination, as blacks have gone through. So I don't have a problem with someone half black, half white, half black, or another combination identifying as black. However, if someone who is biracial chooses not to identify as black, your wish is granted. I won't see you as black. So therefore, protect black women. I only see one, and that's Oprah there. She chooses not to be a black woman, and that's her choice. This is not to be a facetious, or it's not to be, like to turn on her. But many biracials have made the choice not to be black, and that's their choice to do that. Okay, the making of Meghan Markle. What happens when a confident mixed-race woman marries into the royal family? So she identifies as mixed race, right? Meghan Markle, I'm more than an other. Okay? I want you to go to the bottom of that. Go to the very bottom of that interview. And she goes, my dad is Caucasian, and my mom is African American. I'm half black and half white. She does not identify as black. Since she does not identify as black, let's not beg anyone to be black. She identifies as biracial. Now, I'm going to go into an interview in which is going to just seal the lid on this. Let's read. Markle has come to celebrate being biracial. While my mixed heritage may have created a gray area surrounding my self-identification, keeping me with a foot on both sides of the fence, I have come to embrace that, she wrote. To say that I say who I am, to share where I'm from, to voice my pride in being a strong, confident mixed-race woman. We can stop right there. She identifies as a strong, confident, mixed-race woman. So people, she's not black. She does not identify as being black. There's no use in labeling her black. So stop it with the black pride right here. We're not dealing with the black woman. She identifies as a biracial woman. Let's grant her that. And let's show her respect towards how she self-identifies. I truly believe in allowing a person to self-identify how they choose if they are black and white. Not if they are 18% black, 20% black, 28% black. That to me is an ethnic white person. But in this case right here, she's half black, half white. She identifies as biracial. Now she says she's a strong, confident biracial woman. Is that right, Megan? A strong, confident biracial woman who hates her natural hair, who does not embrace all that comes with being biracial, and that's a big part of your hair. You don't even allow your natural hair to grow because you're so ashamed of it, but yet you claim to be a proud biracial. Let's go back to Megan one more thing. And all the men that you have ever dated has been white. I don't believe you have ever dated a biracial man, but yet you claim to be a strong, confident biracial woman who only dates white men. Okay, let's move on. This is her mother, Doria Ragland. She's been exemplary as far as not talking to the press, not giving out any information about her daughter. And that's to be really applauded. But here's the point of which I want to bring up. She has a black mother, an African-American mother. Okay, Meghan Markle accuses royal family of racism in bombshell interview with Oprah. With a black mother like this, she accuses the royal family of racism in a bombshell interview with Oprah. Why would you claim or make a claim or even complain about racism from a family that is racist, from an institution that is racist? Why even complain about that? You chose to marry into them. You chose to marry into a family that has a racist history and past. By doing so, you've kind of like brought it upon yourself, the racism that is directed at you. What did you expect them to do? Change for you? I mean, the pictures of Harry were out there. The pictures of the British family were out there. Their ties to Nazism, their affection towards Hitler, their affection towards the swastika, their affection towards Nazism is out there. If I found it, she could have found it. Why would someone with a black mother who is half black, half white, who's biracial, choose to marry into a racist institution? Help me with that one right there. Make that make sense. But I have my answers with that. It comes to her identifying as biracial. And she's sitting up there thinking that people who are racist and prejudiced, that is directed towards black people. But what Megan did not know, and what a lot of biracials do not know, is that when dealing with racist people or racist institutions, they will see a biracial person as black. In the eyes of a racist institution or people, Megan is just as black as her mother. She's not white. This is what you failed to realize. Did you really think that going in there prim proper, I'm biracial, they're going to see me as being biracial? Many biracials take on a biracial identity. They say they're a biracial or they say they're mixed. Many times it's to get away from being black. It's to get away from the stigma and the treatment that black folks have gone through. So they believe that with being biracial, it's ambiguous. There's no really history in their minds of stigma, of the stigma that blacks have gone through, of the harsh treatment that blacks have gone through. So they believe that they're not saddlebagged with anything like that. But lo and behold, she didn't know. She wasn't aware of it. She was unprepared to handle that. But I think it's foolish, though. It is absolutely foolish for you to come there. You're half black, you're half white, you have a black mother, to a racist institution, and then later on complain about racist behavior and racist treatment. That's just ludicrous to me. Here's your husband right there. He has a racist past right there. You chose to marry into that family. You chose to marry him. Deal with it now. You brought this upon yourself. This is when social climbing goes bad. You're going to ignore all of this. The most important thing for you is the position, is the power, is to be well known. That's the most important thing for her. So she just pretty much ignored all this. What a fantasy right there. Behind the Queen's gestures lies a dark history of aristocratic Nazi links. This is out there. I dug it up. She could have dug it up. But many people walk into a situation with blinders on. When you're selfish, self-centered, you're social climbing, you don't really give a damn about that. You don't care. You want the position, the prestige, and the power, and the title. So therefore, this is your bed to lie in. You chose to marry into this family. Now deal with it. No one held a gun to anyone's head and made them get married. No, she chose him. She probably pursued him, manipulated him. Be prepared about being manipulated by people where they turn things around like they are the victim. These are things sometimes in which people have brought upon themselves. All of a sudden, they're crying now all over the world. Look at what they've done to me. Look how racist they are. They talked about the color of my child's skin. Well, hell, if they have a Nazi history and Nazi past, of course they're going to talk about your child's color, or how dark he would be, or how black he would be, or how Negro he would be. They probably brought up something about the hair texture too. But you're surprised about that. Amazing. You chose to marry into this family. You chose to marry into a racist family with a racist institution, a racist history. And now you are surprised about the racism that you are getting. Bethany Franco, she writes, "Cry Me a River. The plight of being a game show host, fairly unknown actress to suffering in a palace with tiaras and seven-figure weddings. For 2 whole years to being a household name with Oprah on speed dial, fetching $7 million for interviews, hundreds of millions in media deals. So this was a game show host. Deal or no deal? Then she went to being a D-list actress on Suits, not well known, not invited to the Academy Awards, to any awards to be honest with you, not invited to any hip, trendy, cool parties in Hollywood. Basically to being a household name now. To racking up millions of dollars now. And she's a victim. She's a victim who chose really her own lifestyle. She chose that family to marry into. And now she's crying because she's not accepted. Her son's not accepted. He got no title. Was she expecting him to be Prince Archie or something like of that sort? He got no title, no security. And people wondering about a baby's complexion. But why be surprised, though, with the type of family you chose to marry into? And now it's only a problem because it hits so close to home. It's a problem because it's directed at you and your baby, and it's a problem. But before all of that talk about we're going to interfere with another population's birthrights, I need to come back as a virus, well, for what, to kill people? You've heard that. You heard William say, your brother-in-law states that Africa's population is booming way too much. They need an intercession to stop their massive growth. They're black people, like your mother, but you didn't care then. It wasn't important to you. It wasn't important to you till it affected you and your baby. And now racism all of a sudden is very important. Now it's a very hideous form. Palace films over 1930s Nazi salute clip of the Queen right here. So, yeah, I guess that is true. You can cry me a river. Crying and being sympathetic over something that really you brought upon yourself. Playing the victim now. You had a royal duty. You married into a family that is steeped in tradition, protocol. You couldn't do it. You wasn't cut out for it. There's a family that is steeped in racism, anti-Semitism, colonialism. You knew that. You ignored it. It wasn't important to you. It was not important to you until it started to affect you, and it was directed at you and your baby. This is your cross to carry and deal with. No one else's. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that was another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you beyond and through.